The Erie Canal isn't just another great place to ride, but an area steeped in history. So we're going to show you much more than just the bike trail. We'll take you back in time when the canal put New York on the map as the Empire State. Completed in 1825 and originally running 363 miles from the Hudson River in Albany to Lake Erie in Buffalo, the Erie Canal was the second longest canal in the world, second only to the Grand Canal in China, and it was the engineering marvel of its day. It transformed New York City into the nation's principal seaport and opened the interior of North America to settlement. The original canal took 8 years to build, cost nearly 1,000 lives, and $100 million in today's dollars. It was the longest artificial waterway and the greatest public works project in North America. Today, 80% of the population of upstate New York lives within 25 miles of the canal. We start at the Camillus Erie Canal Park. The park is located at the halfway point on the original Erie Canal. Camillus Erie Canal Park preserves the 7-mile stretch of the Erie Canal and offers over 14 miles of scenic wooded paths and walkways for hiking and biking. The park is home to the 9 Mile Creek Aqueduct, built in 1841 and restored in 2009 at the cost of $1.9 million. An aqueduct is a water-filled bridge that carries canal boats over rivers, streams, or valleys. This is the only restored navigable aqueduct of the original 32 constructed on the enlarged Erie Canal. A little ways down the trail, we come upon one of the few surviving lock tenders' houses. Less than a mile from the Jordan Aqueduct, you can stop at Lock 51. And if you feel adventurous, take a second and take a ride through the lock. The Centerport Aqueduct got its name because it's located almost in the exact middle of Section 7 of the Erie Canal. This aqueduct is unusual because it incorporates a dam into the stonework structure. Just after Port Byron, you might want to take a short side trip into the Montezuma Heritage Park, which is home of the Richmond Aqueduct. This is the second longest of the Erie Canal aqueducts, and it crosses the Seneca River at 840 feet long. Some of the 31 original stone arches stand today, and it was abandoned during the second digging of the canal because crossing the Seneca River near Montezuma was so difficult. New York State decided to relocate the canal route to higher ground. The aqueduct remained in use until 1917 when all but 9 arches were dismantled. At several points along the trail, you'll spot decorative murals on buildings and canal abutments. The Lyons Dry Dock is one of two on the canal system. It's used for maintenance as well as winter storage. The dry dock has a set of canal gates, same as the locks have, and they're opened and boats are floated in. Then the gates are closed and the water's drained so they can work on the boats. So the lockmaster told us it takes about 10 minutes to fill it up and 1 minute to drain it. And he is going to drain it as soon as this boat goes through. Now we're dropping the water because somebody's coming. First erected in 1858, the Aldridge Towing Path Change Bridge is the oldest iron bridge in New York State, and one of only two bridges to survive from the first enlargement of the Erie Canal. A change bridge allowed the mules to cross the canal at locations where the towpath continued on the other side. The mules were walked under the bridge, over the top, and then down the other side, allowing the tow lines to remain connected for minimal disruption of the tow. Just a few hundred yards from the change bridge, you'll cross on the trail Mud Creek Aqueduct. There are 15 operating lift bridges across the canal today. The Fairport Lift Bridge was constructed in 1914 and is currently closed for refurbishment. Its unusual construction has placed it in Ripley's Believe It or Not. No two angles on the bridge are the same, and none of the corners are square. As you arrive in Pittsford, you'll come into Schoen Place, a bustling group of specialty shops and restaurants, right on the trail. And you'll find several canal-related buildings here, including an old coal tower converted into a restaurant. Along the route, you'll see guard gates. These gates help to isolate sections of the canal in case of emergency, like a break in the canal wall, an accident, or extreme high water. Just west of Lock 32 is Wide Waters. It's an area that allowed canal traffic to turn around. When the canal is drained in the winter, you can see the hulls of abandoned barges. In Genesee Valley Park, the canal trail meets up with two other trails, the Genesee Riverway Trail and the Genesee Valley Greenway. The Riverway Trail provides a 6.5-mile loop along both sides of the river, between the canal and downtown Rochester. Years ago, the original Erie Canal went right through the center of Rochester, but it proved to be too narrow and too shallow for commercial service, so it was closed, dewatered, and transformed into a subway. Here we're riding on Broad Street, which is the site of the former canal. Frederick Law Olmsted has been widely credited as the founder of American landscape architecture and establishing the concept of the public park, and his most famous park is Central Park in New York City. Rochester is just one of 4 cities that boasts a park system designed by him. Genesee Valley Park is one of those. Every winter, the Erie Canal is drained. Crews drain the canal to inspect and provide maintenance. It takes about 5 days to drain or fill the canal. In 2021, it's scheduled to be filled in late May. "15 lift bridges still carry traffic over the canal. When a boat approaches, the operator stops traffic, raises the deck of the bridge 15 feet, and gives clearance for the passing boats." About 2 miles east of Medina, the Erie Canal runs over Culvert Road. It's the only place where a road passes under the canal. It's listed in Ripley's Believe It or Not, and it's a strange feeling to stand under the Erie Canal and have canal water drip down on your neck. You need to take a few minutes to appreciate the Lockport locks. They're often referred to as the Flight of Five, and they're perhaps one of the most iconic features and engineering feats in the entire Erie Canal. The locks were built to overcome the great elevation of the Niagara escarpment that eventually ends at Niagara Falls. The original canal builders constructed a unique flight of 5 double locks to lower easterly and raise westerly bound boats some 60 feet. The massive wooden gates were operated by hand. The original locks of 1825 were replaced by a larger flight of double locks that opened in 1847. Modifications to the canal between 1910 and 1914 removed the southern tier of locks and replaced them with a set of 2 electric lift locks, lifting boats 49 feet. We're now going through what's known as the Deep Cut. Here, some of the most difficult construction of the Erie Canal took place. Over 1,200 workers blasted down more than 30 feet so that the canal's channel would flow downhill from Lake Erie. This work held up the completion of the canal by a year. Now wait a minute, did I just see the Statue of Liberty? Tonawanda is where the Erie Canal connects with the Niagara River. Here, looking across the Niagara River, we can see Grand Island, New York. In a minute, we'll go under the Peace Bridge that you see in front of you, which goes from New York to Canada. We end our journey on the Erie Canal of about 177 miles at the Buffalo Naval Park and Canalside. As the canal's terminus, Buffalo became one of the country's great 19th century cities. It also became one of the country's most technically advanced cities by harnessing the electricity produced by nearby Niagara Falls. At the end of the canal era, Buffalo wasn't known as one of the most exciting cities in New York State, but they've invested millions of dollars in recent years and done a lot of revitalization, and Canalside is a perfect example of that money well spent. In front of us, you can see the architectural remnants of the original commercial slip and the entrance to the original Erie Canal. So we've reached the end of our journey. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the trail again.